Okay, so I talked a little yesterday about being sent off in the middle of the night with a phone call. Shot in the Dark, a film with Peter Sellers. I recommend. Wonderful. On the New York Times' list of best 1,000 movies ever made, actually, together with quite a few other Peter Sellers movies. Doctor Strangelove and How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb. Well, that's among the top 10 comedies ever anyway. One, maybe two of the Pink Panthers. Anyway, let's return to our sheep. Revenons à nos moutons. Point of brush, yeah, that was nadir, low point. I mean, climax of tension, the peak of my Cold War, in some ways. Then I mentioned the guy in Pietra Neamț, the local colonel of Securitate, local KGB, who gave me a lecture on defending the values of communism, the goddamn communist system, and the beloved leader, probably, maybe. Anyway, let me tell you about the Chinese. Xie xie, hen hao bu ha. That's the only. And even those I don't know. I mean, I know xie xie is thank you. Hen hao may be good or bad, and bu hao the other. I mean, I never knew which one is which, and I don't give a fuck. The experience was not positive, let me say outright. Educational to some extent, maybe, but as liking them, no way. First of all, they had that thing, but cultural differences, okay, and the communists and with that, and now they have Shia dictator, and fuck them. I mean, America, Trump, my God. But let us see what happens when the Chinese will come with their more stable than the very stable genius, more stable leader, and they rule the world. That will be less fun and more trauma. Let's put it this way. Okay, so they have this thing with the farts and the belches, which were supposed to show content. I mean, we had a good meal, we're happy. I understand it's not so widespread anymore. I mean, at least they have, for those who travel, they not really been told, but learn to do better. Something I've read. Even if, again, now that they're so proud and full of themselves and think they're the next leaders, and maybe they will be, alas. I don't know if they care so much anymore about being seen in with a different image. They're showing they do what they goddamn please, and they would say fuck the world. So that was one thing. I mean, what? That you farted? You farted? You motherfucker! No way I would say that. Let me tell you why. Well, there were high-ranking Chinese leaders and experts and whatever in tourism in the Guangzhou province, the one next to Hong Kong, which was, we're talking 1980, what, 7, maybe. So when they weren't this big, they were only this small. But still, that was rising. And that's regional. 2 regions there mainly, which contain America and Europe combined, something like that. So that was probably still is the powerhouse, and a lot of industry businesses concentrated there. Still, I think. So became one exchange. With that, they had a guy, Buzato or something, from the Ministry of Tourism, was he? Or was he a combination? Was he assigned from the Ministry of fuck all something. I mean, anyway, this guy was an apparatchik, probably a KGB. He would later become, after the revolution, ambassador in Indonesia or something. I think I seen. An idiot otherwise. Um, no backbone. Fucking coward. And well, a good. Probably I have no idea. I don't. I've told you my Chinese. Speaking of Chinese, I mean, being so high, they needed somebody quite high. And speaker of Chinese, it was me. I have English and French, neither of which were of any use with these guys. I think two spoke Russian or something. Yeah, it couldn't be German. I think. And they had on their side one who has studied here. Had studied, if we use the tense, and we need the other one. So that was it. And I was in charge with logistics, paying, whatever. So we went to Russia first. Everywhere they met guys in charge of tourism. When there wasn't any, because he was in China visiting, let's say, or in Belarus, they would pretend another guy is him. Mostly it was him. There were some human, but men, I mean, male chauvinist pigs, party leaders. Well, some prominence for women, because they had Elena Ceausescu, the brightest scientist here, or in the world, what am I saying? Let me say what happened in Timisoara. Along the way, it was fucking disgusting, with propaganda on both sides, lies and more lies. Sex, lies, and videotape. Okay. In Timisoara, I went to the first part, the talk, and that was a bit more fun there, because I could see that some of the guys on our side gathered, and because they met for this thing together with the Chinese, but it was also a meeting for them somehow. They exchanged some goodies, some magazines from the which one or the other got from the border and things. Timisoara is on the border, okay, and even if it's close to Serbia and Hungary were like the West back then. They were much more advanced. They were like civilized countries, okay, and we were left with an idiot in charge, Ceausescu. So it was funny for me to see them benefiting from the border, from these goods. And when the Chinese ask, how do you stop the Western rotten, corrupt presence and here at the border, because they're take the other change faces and say, oh, we fight it, we do it what we can to, and all that bullshit, while they had, I don't know, cigarettes from there, from the fucking West, and perfume and magazines and whatever they could get their hands on. Okay, here there was nothing in regular shops. A lot of bullshit. And I was thinking, yeah, right, okay. Now, there was another thing happening. I'm sorry. Now it's these? No, not yet. There was another thing happening at night. This must have been Wednesday or something. In the program, there was a television, a football match of serious importance. Steaua Bucharest. Even if I was a fan of the rivals, maybe it was my team, but I don't think it was that bad, because if it was that bad, I would just go in town and try and find some place to see something. Whatever. the cost. But I think it was that which I was still interested because they were playing the half finals of the European Champions Cup, something. And I talked to this Buzatu guy, supposedly a big shot. Okay, look, here they have access to the channels. It wasn't on ours. Our had 2 hours by that time with idiot, dear leader. Saw this, said that. That was all. No football match, no anything, not anything else. So one other great thing for those living at that border and other borders for that reason was they could see the channels of the other countries, and they had this being half finals. They would broadcast like we watch now, Barcelona being destroyed by Bayern Munich last night. But here, even if it's not any of our teams reach any stage there now. So I said, oh, go ahead and tell those people. I've seen, I passed that bar, I looked around a little, I pretended I don't know where I'm, and I saw. They had in some place there. And he talked to the manager of the hotel, and the local fucker said, no, we can't. No, comrade, it was Tavares. Okay. So the idiot from Bucharest, even if he had a position, instead of insisting, instead of saying, okay, but maybe we can, I know officially, no, he was too afraid of anything that might compromise. What a worm. And on the other side, I've noticed that the locals there did have an arrogance of their own. The idiot from the hotel, manager of the hotel, would buy the thing or would have it given to him because that's how it worked after 1989. All sorts of corrupt gangsters, mafiosi, KGB nomenclatura got things for, like in Russia, for nothing, or just because they bribed each other. And they had the strings, they could pull the strings. He got the hotel, and I remember I went there later in the new regime, and he had a crocodile in the lobby. Poor animal was in a small pond like this, I guess. There's no crocodile there, by the way. I hope not. So 2 idiots talking to each other. And then another thing happened later on, but about that tomorrow.